what are the other headlines that stick to you out of 263, Ariel?
Well, there's a young man named Brandon Moreno who's the first Mexican-born UFC champion ever. He won the title on Saturday, defeating Davison Figueiredo, the flyweight title. And this is a really big deal for the company. As you know, Mexico history, they love their fighting over there, but the UFC hasn't quite broken through with its own star over the years. They've tried really hard. They've done reality shows, open gyms, held events, all this stuff and more, but they never quite broke through. They had a Mexican-American champion, a heavyweight champion several years ago named Cain Velasquez, but not the same. Moreno is from Tijuana. His family has a piñata making business. Like, they are Mexican through and through, and he is as entertaining as it gets, has an incredible personality. He was cut from the UFC 3 years ago, worked his way back up, and now he's the first Mexican-born champion in the history of the promotion. He's going to open a lot of doors for them. He's going to be a huge star if they promote him correctly. And then, of course, the other big one, Israel Adesanya, returning to his natural weight class, 185 pounds, defeating his rival Marvin Vettori. Great performance, I thought, out of him. And he, of course, is still one of the big faces, one of the stars of the UFC.
Well, we've had him on this show twice, and I mean, I am so much a fan of his, just his wattage, his personality, his enthusiasm. I mean, it's there's really not many people like Israel. What is his next step in reality in his future? As you know, he's been on this show, and I will just say, this was not my language. He still wants to take Jon Jones and scratch his manhood across his face in the home of the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, that's literally what his plan is. Is that a possibility? Ariel?
It should be a possibility. It could be a possibility, but they're now sort of on different paths, different wavelengths.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jon is trying to do this thing where he's moving up to heavyweight. Izzy is now at 185. So there's now one full weight class in between them, which is the 205-pound division, the light heavyweight division. They can obviously meet in the middle, but it seems like Jon, who's having his own contract issues with the UFC again right now, is really focused on this heavyweight title. And so there is a chance, like I think a lot of people, and even Izzy for the longest time, was predicting that they would meet in July at Raider Stadium. That's obviously not going to happen. There were people who thought at some point in 2021 they would fight, and now it's looking like they're going in complete different directions. So it would be unfortunate because they have a lot of heat. They're very much not on the same page. They don't like each other. But honestly, at this juncture, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't, if only because, you know, Jon's going up from 205 to heavyweight. Izzy's now comfortable at 185. He moved up to 205 recently, lost that fight. Crazier things have happened, but right now I don't suspect it's next for either man.
All right. So what is what's the next big fight for you and a big story for you, Ariel Helwani? In the
Other than trying to find employment, it would be July 10th, Las Vegas, the return of Conor McGregor. Nothing bigger than Conor, nothing bigger than that. The trilogy fight against Dustin Poirier. And, of course, you know, Dustin beat him in July in the rematch. So there's a lot at stake here for Conor. The winner of this fight is going to fight for the lightweight title, and Conor is still such a big draw, but he needs to get that W. He needs to get back on track. Your drawing power will only stick around. You know, in MMA, they're a lot more lenient, like I said, in boxing. So it will only stick around for so long. He needs to get this win over Poirier, a guy who he beat, you know, around 7 or so years ago.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.